Hey y'all, hope you're doing great. So pumpkin spice coffee. It's fall, yay. Anyway, so I promised you last time that I would talk to you about the books that I've read over this past year or almost a year that have really affected me. So yeah, I've been on a journey for self-improvement. I realized after my mom passed that she was my why. In a lot of situations, she was the reason that I did just about anything. So I had to figure out who I was. Now, as a little bit of background, I grew up, and I think I've mentioned this before, in a very religiously strict home. And a lot of my beliefs and behaviors were centered around that religion. Well, I left that religion about 5 years ago. It was January 2017. I left that religion. And so it has been a whole journey of figuring out, well, who am I now? Because all of my identity was tied up in that religion. So now I had to figure out what I liked, the activities that I wanted to participate in, the type of money I wanted to make, the way that I wanted to act, because literally everything was tethered to that identity as being a member of that organization. So now I thought that I had done a lot of work, and I did. I had done a lot of work, but I hadn't actually gotten there yet. And I think self-improvement is an ongoing situation. I don't think anyone ever finally sits up one day and goes, I'm improved. I have reached my, self-improvement threshold, and this is as good as it's gonna get, and it's awesome. If that's a thing, let me know in the comments, but I really feel like you're improving and helping yourself and so on and so forth consistently throughout your life. So I started that journey in 2017 through therapy and life coaching. And then when my mom passed, I realized that she was my reason for most things. She was my reason for wanting to get rich. She was my reason for wanting to be known. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always wanted to sort of have my name in lights or whatever, but just that drive and that desire to have that fame, I guess you would say, was because I wanted to be able to share it with her. She was my person. So now I had to go through this journey of, well, what is it really that I want, and who do I really want to become, and how can I get there? So the first thing that I realized, believe it or not, is that I want to be wealthy. And saying that out loud was a little bit shocking. I mean, I'd always felt it, always been something that was kind of swirling around in the back of my head, but to actually verbalize it was a step. So once I actually said out loud that that's what I wanted, had no idea how to get there, because I hadn't experienced that. We didn't have money growing up. My idea of money was, this is what you use to pay bills. This is not what you have for anything extra. It was always, money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have enough. We can't afford that. You have to make do with what you have. Those types of attitudes that contributed to me having what they would consider a scarcity or a lack mindset. So all of that being said, I started on this journey to understanding myself, because I think, as I mentioned several times in this on this vlog, that actually, you know what? I realized I didn't actually mention it on the vlog, because the last time I posted, the crazy things that happened at my job I recorded them, but I hadn't actually uploaded them yet. So I am actually, this is a new video. I'm recording this on Saturday, September the 9th. And I'm actually going to go back and post the videos that I've recorded back last year, so that we can kind of get caught up to where I am now, because there's a lot of new information and exciting stuff that I want to tell you guys about, but I've got to back up a little bit before I can go forward. So because the last video that I uploaded, I did mention that I was going to share these self-help books with you guys. That's what I'm going to do first, and then I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and then I'll come back to the beginning. So bear with me, because I'm like, I have all this content that never made its way to the internet, so I'm going to go ahead and upload that to the channel. So anyhow, that being said, I'm going to go into the books that really did help me, because this past year, since December of last year, has been really financially challenging, extremely financially challenging. And so I was focused on improving my financial situation. So I started out with reading books about wealth and how to build wealth. And so there were 2 books that had to do with, well, actually 3 books, but 2 of them that I really connected with, and one particular author that I connected with when it came to doing that. So the first one, when it comes to money is concerned, is, I would say, in third place, is, and forgive me because I don't know how I ended up with a bunch of titles with curse words in them, but apparently those are the ones that stood out to me, so forgive me. And, just know that the profanity that I use is actually on the book, okay? And I don't have many of the books actually in tangible form, because I subscribe to Audible, and so this is not a paid promotion, but I subscribed to Audible, and so I can tell you what the books are, and now you can find them on Audible if you choose to listen to them yourself, or if you want to go find them in printed form, you can do that too, but know that these are available on Audible. So the first one that I would say is in third place is Get Rich, You Lucky Bitch. It was a very interesting read, because she is in a slightly different experience than I am. She was married with kids when she started on her financial journey, so she had a why, obviously being her family, but she was able to kind of like unstick or reprogram her thinking from that scarcity mindset to being able to grow a business into a 7-figure plus business. And now she has several books that she's written on the subject, and she's consistently growing, and so on and so forth. And I'll tell you the thread that kind of goes through all of these books that I found very interesting, but that would be number 3. The second book was actually suggested to me by my life coach some years back. And this one I do actually have in printed form. This one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I know a lot of people suggest this book. So many people have read this book. But it actually is a very interesting read, because to me, it gives some really cool examples of people that have developed or grown their businesses and how they did it. And this book actually, like I said, I'll go into the thread with all of them in a minute, because it transcends the getting rich versus improving yourself versus all these, like there's one particular thread that goes through all of them, and it has to do with your mindset. So that was the second one, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it talks about how adjusting your mindset and you have to believe that you can do it first. And that's the hardest thing if you've never seen it. Putting yourself in a place where you can believe that it's possible for you, because like I said, grew up with very little money. We were never hungry. We were never, naked or whatever. We always had a roof over our heads, so on and so forth. But there was never any excess. So when I would see people on TV that had this abundance, or, the kids in school that always had the newer clothes and the nicer shoes and the this, that, and the third, I didn't understand how they were able to have it, and we never had any money for anything extra. In my world, money was to pay bills. Money was to keep a roof over your head. Money was to keep gas in the car. Money was to keep the lights on. Money was to keep the water running. It wasn't about going on vacations or buying nice things or having, fun. It was about the necessities. And so when I read Think and Grow Rich, the idea that it conveyed was, if you believe it, you can achieve it, even if it hasn't been done before. And so that started the wheels turning for me to come up with ideas and ways that I could start to create the life that I wanted for myself. The third book, which I would say is number one for me, is You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. And I really connected with this author. To me, Jen Sincero is hilarious. The way she expresses herself is hilarious to me. So being able to put humor to something that for a lot of us just makes us uncomfortable. Talking about money, I was always taught that it was impolite to discuss money. It was impolite to talk about how much you make or what your plans are for money or how much you spent on anything. Like, for me, money was always meant to be kind of secretive. So to hear Jen Sincero, and this is one that I did listen to on Audible, talk about her journey for making money, I really appreciated it. The other thing that really connected me to Jen Sincero is that she didn't start making money until later in life. She tells us in her book that she was in her 40s before she was able to unlock, so to speak, the ability to make money. And because I waited until later in life to leave that organization, I felt like I was really behind the eight ball on a lot of things, whether it be making money or relationships or just figuring out who I am as a person, figuring out my passions in life, so on and so forth. I felt like I had just like wasted time. I was way behind everybody else. So to hear that she was in her 40s before she unlocked the ability to create the life that she wanted and to build wealth, it made me feel like it wasn't too late. So I really connected with her on those things. And again, she talks a lot about mindset and how believing that you can have it is the first step to making it happen. So those were the three books that kind of started me on this journey to building wealth. Now, let me explain again. I'm not there, not even close, but I at least found the right street. That's the way I could say it. It's like, there's this journey to head in your direction. And when you look at a map, you just see all these random lines all over the place. And to figure out how to get from point A to point B, you have to find the right lines that will get you there. I can say I'm finally on the right street, okay? Whereas before, I was just staring at the map going, I want to get there. And I have absolutely no idea how to do it. So now I can actually say, okay, I have mapped out a chart, but I'm still at the beginning, y'all. I'm still right here at the beginning. But at least I know that it can happen and I believe it can be done. So those are the important important ways to begin the journey. So I'm on the right path after reading those books. And there are others that I've read. Now, I would say that my top three books that have to do with just general overall lifestyle shift and mindset shift. Again, I do not know where I come up with all these books that have curse words in the title, but there are three of them. I'm going to go again with three that stood out to me. So the first one, which I would say is number 3, is Unfuck Yourself. I do not know, I can't remember the person who wrote it, so I'll put it over here, but Unfuck Yourself is all about mindset shift, and it's a very practical way to look at it. You hold yourself back from so much, and I realized how much I was holding myself back from, and I'm tired of it. I just really felt like to sit there and be like, I would say I can talk all day about the things that I want to do. I can envision my life. I can envision myself and my friends boarding a private jet headed to New Zealand for my birthday one year. I can see it clear as day, but I sit on my couch and I do nothing to head in that direction. And Unfuck Yourself was about the ways to shift your mindset to start moving. Like, you have to start doing something. Yes, if you can believe it, you can achieve it, but you have to actually put in work to do that. The second book is very similar again, and this is I have the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And this one, again, slim book, but so much in there about, okay, so the interesting thing, as you can see, it says here, a counterintuitive approach. But the interesting thing is, most of the books that you read talk about keeping a positive mindset and, staying in that positive attitude and being happy and blah, 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 blah. And just kind of like fake it till you make it, But this book actually goes the other way. Accept you are who you are. Not everybody is going to be a famous author. Not everybody is going to be, an incredible writer. Not everybody is going to be, well, I said a famous author, but, incredible actress. But not everybody is going to be whatever. Accept who you are and be the best that you want to be. Don't think that the only way to call yourself successful is to be this mega star, And so I really started thinking about what specifically I want. Like I said, I've always wanted this fame and my name in lights and this, that, and the third. I wanted to be an actress for the longest growing up. But it made me actually start thinking about what I specifically want now and what I can do to start heading in that direction, So that book was really interesting. And then we're going back to Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass. So that is the name of the book, You Are a Badass. Like I told you, the first one, the money related one, You Are a Badass at Making Money. But the other one, just for general life advice, life activity, whatever, is You Are a Badass. And that one, again, is about mindset and shifting your belief system to put yourself in a place where you have the motivation and the discipline to start heading in the direction that you want your life to go. And those three were interesting to me because they gave me permission to see myself in a different way. They gave me permission to see myself as this globe-trotting, financially independent, financially successful, person that could achieve whatever she wanted. Got to get another sip of this coffee, y'all. It's amazing. Who could achieve whatever she wanted. And so it stopped me from feeling like I was merely at the mercy of my circumstances, or that I was merely I could only take whatever crap the universe threw at me. Instead, I have some power in the situation and I can start to create whatever world I want for myself. So those are the books that really stood out to me. And I gave you extremely brief overviews because I want you to go read them. I don't want to tell you all about them. It's like ruining the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go and read them for yourself or listen to them for yourself so that you can appreciate them, So those, like I promised you, I was going to tell you about the books. Sorry, I'm a few weeks late, but I still did it. And that is something that I'm working on because I'm not always motivated to do, even though I think about it all the time. And it really isn't that difficult, truthfully, to just set up the camera and start talking. But I had to get my puff right. Return of the puff. Oh yeah, return of the puff. Return of the puff. You know what I'm saying? Like it just felt like it would be a lot of effort, but it's not. So editing them is a little bit more, but nonetheless, that's beside the point. I'm gonna get better about being more consistent with my videos, and I thank you guys for watching. Please, if you enjoyed this, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you have other books that you suggest that might be a good idea for me to read, send them my way. I'm always interested in learning. I'm always eager to learn. Right now, I'm in my entrepreneurial phase, so I've been reading a couple books about that. One of them is The E-Myth that I started listening to on Audible. And that one is a really, really interesting read. If you're thinking about starting your own business, which I'm trying to do now, then that would be a great, I recommend that book, honestly, to jump in and get started with. So go ahead, and if you have any other suggestions of books that you think might be a good suggestion for me, throw them in the comments. I would love to take a look. And like I said, I'm going to upload some of my videos that I recorded right back after my mom first passed. I'm going to get those out, and then I will be able to give you guys some updated information about some really cool stuff that's going to be happening over the next few months. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys have a great day. All right, bye.